everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Danielle with Cookies and Bacon, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 different biscuit recipes for breakfast. These are going to be simple, easy breakfast recipes. I know that your family will love and enjoy these. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Grab your apron and let's get started. For this recipe, all that we're going to need is a can of biscuit dough, some cinnamon and sugar, and then some nonstick spray. I use this olive oil nonstick spray just so that doesn't stick to your waffle iron. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this can without freaking out and having a heart attack, which I do quite often. And then I'm just going to place it on here on my little dash that I have. This is just like a mini waffle maker. And I'm going to let it cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. And while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get my cinnamon sugar ready. I do have a mason jar full of this cinnamon sugar that I like to have it with my toast. So I made it up quite a while back. But, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put that on my waffle on my cinnamon and sugar. Put it on the front and on the back and on the sides as well. And you can even spray your waffle again just so it's sticky and that the cinnamon sugar sticks to it well. But it should stick pretty well to it. And you can even put some icing on top of it. That would be delicious. But my kids really enjoyed this breakfast meal here. Next, we have this apple pie bubble up bake. So first, you're going to need a can of apple pie filling. You can use whichever kind you want. You can even use a caramel one, caramel apple. That would be even really very tasty. And I'm just going to put it in this medium-sized bowl. And then we're going to add in 1 cup of butterscotch chips. I just used the rest that I had in this bag. I don't think it was quite a cup, but it does call for a cup. And I'm sure it'll make it taste better. And then I'm going to use a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then I'm just going to start dicing up these apples. Just to make them bite-sized pieces would be great. You don't have to do this. I just think it would just make the apples go further. So chopping them up would make it better. Okay, and once everything is cut up and stirred through and well combined, we're going to go ahead and get a cutting board out, and we're going to get our biscuit dough. Now, these are just like junior biscuits. I think there is 10 of them in here, but I'm just going to dice them up into smaller pieces. I cut them up into fourths, and then we're going to put that in with our apple pie mixture. This does call for 2 cans of these junior biscuits, and I just do 1 can at a time. I dice them up and put them in the mixing bowl, and then I do it again with a second can, just because I don't have like a huge cutting board here. So that's just how I did it. You can do it however way you want. It's fine. And then once everything is cut up and you put it, everything stirred through, both cans are stirred through, then we are going to spray our 9x13 pan, and we're going to put everything in the pan, and it should be ready for the oven. I did want to make sure that it was an even layer of apples to biscuit, so that's why you kind of see me just working through the biscuit dough just to make sure everything is even before I put it in the oven. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven at 350 for about 25 to 30 minutes, just until everything's lightly golden brown. And while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my glaze that I'm going to put on top after everything is cooked through and cooled down a little bit. So I'm just using half a cup of powdered sugar with about a tablespoon of milk. I just don't really measure. What I do is just kind of base it off of the thickness. If it's too thick, I can just add some milk, and if it's too thin, I can always add more powdered sugar. It's not a big deal either way. And I did let this cool off for about 20 minutes before putting on the glaze. And here I'm just putting some glaze on the top of it. And this is really no different than having cinnamon rolls for breakfast. This just has apples, so hey, it's even healthier now that it has apples. So it's a perfect breakfast item, I think. I mean, it is a little bit more sugary, but if you have cinnamon rolls, you can definitely have this. And it tastes pretty close to a cinnamon roll anyway, so this was a hit for the kids. All right, for this video, this was my family's favorite recipe that I made. I made this biscuits and gravy casserole. So first I'm just going to use a pound of sausage and ground it up. And then once it's all ground up, I'm going to drain out any of the grease. And then I'm going to get a cutting board and get that ready for some biscuits that I'm going to open. Now for this, my husband opened that for me so that I don't have a mini heart attack, because I almost always do. And I'm just going to cut these up into, well, I think I did 4s in that one. And then, yeah, I diced them up smaller. So you can dice them up however you want, but I think the smaller pieces work out great. So if you cut them up in like 6 pieces, that works out pretty well as well. And I just cut these up, the whole can, and then I'm going to put that on the bottom of my 9x13 pan dish. Okay, so I lightly greased this pan, and I'm just going to go ahead and toss all of these biscuits on the very bottom here. And then we're going to add some egg mixture in just a minute. Okay, now in a medium-sized dish, I'm just going to crack 6 large eggs. And I'm going to mix that in with a half a cup of milk and some salt and pepper. And once that's all thoroughly mixed through, then we're just going to pour that on top of our biscuits. Okay, now that we have our biscuits on our 9x13 pan, we're just going to go ahead and add in that sausage that we cooked earlier. Just pour that evenly on top. And then once that's all even, go ahead and add your egg mixture, the 6 eggs with milk, salt, and pepper. You could also add in some paprika there. If you watch any of my videos, you know that I'm a big fan of paprika on pretty much everything. I just think it makes everything taste so much better. You'll just put that on top, and then you're going to put some cheese on top of that. So you'll use about 1 cup of cheese, and you'll just put that evenly on top. Once that's complete, you're going to go ahead and use that gravy packet, or you can make some homemade gravy, whatever you choose to do. I just used a packet of gravy and I prepared it like how the instructions said. And then on top of my cheese, I just went ahead and added that gravy on top, and I wanted to smooth it out so everything was nice and even. And then I went ahead and put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 50 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes, just until the middle is completely cooked through. And you definitely want to make sure and poke at it, because casseroles like this, it's very easy for the middle to not get done all the way. So definitely look at it before pulling it out all the way. After it was done cooking, this is what it looked like. It was very, very good. My whole family enjoyed it so much, and it was so easy and simple to do. This would be great for Sundays as we're heading to church, or anytime you have something that you want to do and you want to go somewhere fast. This is a great option. Okay, this is a very simple recipe, but it does take a little bit more time. It is kind of time consuming, but it'd be great if you made them ahead of time, put them in the freezer, and it's something that you can just grab and go in the mornings. So I'm going to go ahead and in this small dish, I'm going to go ahead and whip up 6 eggs, and I am going to season them with some salt and pepper. I'm just going to cook them, make some scrambled eggs out of them, something super simple. But once they're done cooking, then I can go ahead and start making my ham, egg, and cheese pockets. I'm just going to take my can of biscuit dough and I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm just going to roll that out very, very fine like. And I initially wanted to use this little waffle maker, this Dash, but it did not turn out well. So the first one that I made just kind of overflowed. So I went ahead and transferred it to a bigger waffle maker. If you made this smaller, I'm sure that it would work properly. But since I cut these in half and rolled them out fine, it just didn't work with the little mini Dash. But I'm just going to put in some scrambled eggs, a slice or 2 of ham, some cheese on top, and then with my other half, I'm going to roll that out, and then I'm going to put it on top of what you see here, and I'm just going to kind of work with it to make it foldable so it'll all be one pocket. I just kind of work with it to close it together with the other dough, if that makes sense. Okay, now that I went ahead and sealed it all together to make it into a little waffle, I'm just going to use my big waffle iron here, and it takes probably 4 to 5 minutes for it to cook and to get, nicely golden brown on top. But once it's done cooking, it was phenomenal. These were absolutely delicious. Right now I'm making a little ham and cheese one for my son because he's allergic to eggs. So that's what you see there. But these made 8 waffles and waffle pockets, however you want to say it. I think they're cute little ham, egg, and cheese pockets. That's what I call them. Okay, for these sausage and cream cheese bites, I'm just going to ground up a pound of this sausage until it is all the way cooked through. And then I'm just going to drain off any of the grease before putting it in this medium-sized bowl. And then we're just going to add in about a cup of cheddar cheese here. And then a tablespoon of whatsoever sauce. That's what I call it. I don't know how to say it. So that's what I call it. And then we're going to add in a block of cream cheese to it. And then we're just going to mix it up. It does take quite a while to mix this up. I don't know if it would have been better if I would have softened it by putting it in the microwave a little bit. If I would have softened the cream cheese a little bit. but I didn't, and it did take quite a bit of muscle, but you know what? It builds character, so there's that. So go ahead and mix this through, and then we will start making our little muffins. In my very sad looking muffin tin here, I'm going to lightly spray it with some olive oil, and then I'm going to get my can of biscuits out. These are just junior biscuits. I think there's 10 of them in this can, and I use 2 cans worth, and I am just lightly patting them to make them a little bit bigger so that they'll end up being a cup for my sausage and cream cheese mixture. And now that the dough is in all of the cups, I'm just going to go ahead and scoop out the sausage and cream cheese mixture in each one of them. And then I'm going to bake this in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes, just until it's lightly golden brown on top. And once they're done cooking, this is what they're going to end up looking like. They are perfect for if you just want to throw them in the freezer and then you can grab them whenever you're ready for breakfast. These are a great option. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.